Hey, what's going on, guys? DK. Back at you with another video here to bring the 2-game NBA main slate on Wednesday. Before I get in the video, if you guys are new to the channel, welcome. My name is DK. I make daily videos and live stream for NBA and NFL slates on Draftkings. I am starting to make videos for PGA golf content as well. I have a video up for the US Open, breaking that down, which starts Thursday, if that is something you're interested in. I also make videos for NBA Top Shot. Just uploaded a video today opening a playoff pack and kind of talking about the market. So if those are two things that interest you, you can go check them out on my channel. If you're unable to watch these YouTube videos, they're also up on an Apple Podcast. Link down below. It's called the DKDFS Show. If you're interested in signing for premium content, I offer that on patreon.com. I offer an esports package. It includes Call of Duty and CSGO. And I also offer an NBA package. If you sign up for NBA, you'll get the PGA data sheet, player data sheets for free. And finally, I want to thank Prize Picks for sponsoring this episode. So there are a couple different ways you can play Prize Picks if you're not familiar with the site. First way is you can take over/under on fantasy points. So Embiid is projected for 55 fantasy points. You can either take the under, you can take the over. You can check the rules to see exactly how they are scored before you, put any money on the line. You can also play single stat, where you can take over/under points, assists, rebounders, three-pointers made. They have every sport you can think of too. You can take like first half contests even for NBA. They have esports, PGA's on there. So yeah, if you guys want to try it out, you can sign up. Use the code DKDFS. DKDFS, all one word. Link down below. You will get a 100% match up to $100. If you put $100 in, you basically get a free $100 to play with. Let's see. What is there any of these that kind of stand out to me? Yeah, Mitchell 47. I take the over there. I still don't think Conley is going to be ready for this game. So even so, Mitchell's just going to be the clear number one guy, and he's just getting a ton of shot attempts up. So I think Mitchell's the guy I like there, over 47. All right, so before we talk about players and the prices for this 2-game slate, we can look back mine up here from the Showdown slate. So the Showdown slate, I actually got super contrarian. I went over what I thought was the optimal lineup on Patreon, which was Giannis, KD, Jeff Green, and Middleton, which were all four in it. However, I was like, you know what? I don't have a good feeling about this because of Harden. I don't know, I feel like he was either going to play, he was either going to aggravate that injury or play big minutes and smash. I did not see him playing the second most minutes out of anyone in this game and basically being a decoy. I did not expect that, but that's what happened. So yeah, for my lineup, it obviously didn't go good. I rolled the dice on Harden, but yeah, I also left a lot of money on the table. I was just like, you know what? I'm just playing this one for fun. I do not have a good read on Harden's health and how healthy he actually is. So I'm just going to do something super contrarian and try to take the solo first. So obviously it didn't work out. But yeah, we got to appreciate greatness. I'm not a Kevin Durant fan at all. But wow, that was something else. He just completely took over there in the second half. And oh man, the Bucks can't choke, man. They are choke artists in the playoffs. That was brutal to watch as someone who has money on the Bucks to win it all. If you can't beat the Nets without Kyrie and basically Harden out there as a decoy, yeah, that's not good. Not good. So we have the Hawks and the 76ers here. It's a 224 over-under. The 76ers are 6-point favorites. And Clippers and Jazz, a 222 over-under. The Jazz are 3-point favorites. All right. Well, real quick, if you guys could hit that like button on the video, it helps me out a ton. Let's try to aim for 150 likes. Every single like on this video allows more viewers to see it. And all right, so let's start off here with Atlanta and Philadelphia. On the Atlanta side, we have Trae Young at the top at 9.9K. I have absolutely no issue with Trae. Again, Philly is known to be a better defender, a good defensive team, I should say, but Trae still had some big games. He's gone for 58 and 61 in 2 of the first 4 games so far in the series. He's had some big games against a tougher defensive team in New York. So, yeah, at 9.9, I think I would say he's more of a contrarian GPP play. But like I said, I am not going to rule out Trae by any means. I think he's a good tournament play that has a lot of upside. Capella, I'm still going to avoid him. The price is coming down. I don't know if it's coming down enough. If he was like 6K, that's when I think I buy into Capella. 6-7 still feels a little bit too much for a guy that is going to have to deal with Embiid. And then we have the secondary plays for the Hawks. So Bogdanovic is a safer option again because of the minutes. He's going to play massive minutes. He has not been shooting the ball well this series, but if he has a decent shooting game, like you could see 35 to 40 from Bogdan. So yeah, I think a safer play at that price. John Collins also feels pretty safe. Should play big minutes. Played 37 last game. So yeah, Collins, Bogdanovic, safer plays. They don't look phenomenal point per dollar, but I don't really think they're going to like kill you either because of the minutes that they do play. Now again, with Hunter out for the season, it's going to be a combo of Herter and Gallinari that pick up that slack. I mentioned how since Herter had the bad game last game, he would come in at much lower ownership. He did come in lower ownership, and he had the better game. It's just, they're going to go with the hot hand here with Herter versus Gallinari. So, Herter, 36, 23, 35 minutes the last 3 games, and Gallinari, 26, 30, then 23 when he did not shoot well. So, these are the two that are going to get the bulk of the minutes out of Hunter, and one of them will get extended a decent amount. Last game it was Herter, but hey, if Gallinari comes out off the bench and shoots really well, he could play 30 minutes. So I think Herter, Gallinari, both are decent options. I think it just comes kind of down to who I think is going to be higher owned. Whoever I think will be higher owned, I'll probably go with the other one. So, if Herter's going to be more popular than this one, I'll just go Gallinari. If Gallinari's going to be more popular, I'm fine spending a little bit more for Herter. Right? It just comes down to who I think is going to be more popular because I think they're both pretty similar plays, and they will go with the hot hand as to who gets extended there. No interest in Solomon Hill. And Lou Williams, I mean, he's basically min-price 3-1. He's played a little bit more this series, so 15, 13, and 14 minutes the last 3 games. I'm guessing we get around that this game. A good offensive player. I'm actually okay if you go there. It's not something you're going to feel amazing about, but it will allow you to get to open up a lot into your lineup. So don't hate Lou Williams, but obviously risky. He's not going to play a ton of minutes. On the Philadelphia side, so with Embiid now, wow, he did not look healthy at all last game. He aggravated that knee, the knee injury. It looked like he shot 4 of 20. So that was the first game this series that he did not look 100%. So now I'm a little bit more hesitant with Joel Embiid going to him at 10-5. I no longer think he's a guy I'm going to just plug and play and move on. However, I still think he's one of the better plays at the top because if he just has a little bit of a better shooting game there, he goes for 60. Right? He had 21 rebounds. He's a guy that we know is a great point per guy, even if he is only 70%. So I still like Joel Embiid. I will say there is a little bit more risk involved from me watching that last game. He did not look 100% at all. Now, Tobias Harris and Ben Simmons, they're fine secondary options. I have a hard time still prioritizing either of them unless you think Embiid does get ruled out. If they haven't listed as questionable, I mean, I fully expect him to play, but yeah, Simmons and both Simmons and Tobias Harris, they should play 35-plus minutes, but it's just, again, it's hard for me to really get super excited about either of them. Seth Curry at 5K is perfectly fine. He should play around 30 minutes. He's actually cracked 30-plus last 2 games, 32 and 35. Again, a decent score, but that's kind of all he does. He's not going to do a ton of the peripheral stats. So I think Seth Curry is perfectly fine here at that price point. Does have some upside, especially if he's knocking down those threes. The value for Philadelphia. So Korkmaz started last game without Danny Green. He played 25 minutes. I'm assuming we'll get similar run from Korkmaz. Again, kind of the same with Seth Curry. He's super reliant in scoring, but hey, he should get decent minutes. So I do have some interest there in Korkmaz. Dwight Howard I actually think is playable. I do. 11, 13, and 12 minutes the last 3 games. I'm thinking we get similar run of probably about 12 minutes from Dwight. He's a good point per guy, and he's only 3-4. So I actually do think Dwight Howard is viable here, even in limited minutes. And then the rest of the bench rotation, they're going to go with the hot hand of guys like Maxey, Hill, and Shake Milton. If I had to pick another one, it would be min-price Shake Milton, who's played 14, 21, and 15 minutes the last 3 games. Did not shoot the ball great last game, 2 of 7, still went for 12 fancy points. So, again, you're not going to feel good about it, but if I had to pick one more guy, it probably would be a guy like Shake. Like Thibault will get minutes too. Again, though, I don't love it because he's just really out there for his defense. So let's finish up here with the Clippers and the Jazz. Kawhi Leonard at 9.7, Paul George at 8.6. Once again, I'm going to prefer Paul George point per dollar. It's just a price point thing, right? He's going to play over 40 minutes in competitive games. So do you prefer Paul George to Kawhi? I do think Paul George is still too cheap here. Now with Kawhi Leonard, what was it, that knee injury? Kind of at the end of the game, a little bit, slightly worried about it. But yeah, I think he's still a good tournament play here. I would just rather get to Paul George, though, for the discount. Reggie Jackson had his first bad game in a while, 9 fancy points. I think we still get around 30 minutes from him. I do think that will lower the ownership, and he's still a guy that can go out and get you 25 to 30 fancy points. So I think Reggie's still in play, more of a tournament play. I think Batum and Marcus Morris are both pretty safe as long as they stay out of foul trouble. 32 minutes last game for Batum, and 35? 35 for Morris. Both shot the ball pretty well. I like both Batum and Morris because they're guys that can kind of do it all, can knock down some shots, are decent rebounders, and can get some of those blocks and steals as well. So I like Batum and Morris once again here for value of 4.6 and 4.5 respectively. As far as the bench for the Clippers, it's hard to trust, but I think Zubac is playable here at 3.5. I think him and Dwight Howard are pretty similar plays because both are not going to play a ton, but both are pretty decent as far as point per minute. Zubac should play 18 minutes last game. I'm thinking we get around 15, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. So, yeah, he's a pretty similar play, I think, to a guy like Dwight Howard. Rondo's gotten a DNP the last 3 games. I have no interest there. Kennard at 3-1, might get around 10 minutes, but I have a hard time prioritizing him. Pat Beverly actually had a decent game. I mean, I really dislike this guy. I'm probably not going to go there. He is min-price, though. He played 20 minutes. However, he did have 4 blocks and 1 steal. That's probably not going to happen again for Pat Bev, but yeah, he's someone you can at least consider. And then Mann also got a little bit of run too, 15 minutes, but it's really hard to trust the bench here for the Clippers. And finally, let's talk about the Utah Jazz. So I do not think Conley plays here. I don't. We'll have to keep an eye on it, but he's been ruled out early every single day so far, game so far. So my assumption is Conley's out. If that is the case, then Mitchell is once again my favorite play here at 9K. He's too cheap. He's going to play probably about 40 minutes, and he's going to get a ton of shot attempts up. 30, 29, 24, and 26 shot attempts the last 4 games for Mitchell. I love Mitchell at 9K. Even if Conley's in, I still like Mitchell a good amount. If Conley's out, I have a hard time getting away from him. Rudy Gobert. Where are my Rudy Gobert fans? Again, overrated. I don't have a ton of interest. He should be dominating the small ball Clippers front court, and he can't. He can't at all. And again, I think I've stated this multiple times. He's probably, in my opinion, the most overrated player in the NBA, that being Rudy Gobert. Clarkson at 6'3" is fine for tournaments. He had a really bad shooting game last game. That is a risk with Clarkson because he's not going to do a ton of peripheral stats. If there's no Conley, though, he should get around 30. And there's still upside of Clarkson. He can still go get you 35 to 40 if he's having a good shooting game. However, the floor is low if he's not shooting the ball well. Bojan Bogdanovic is pretty similar to Clarkson in the fact of pretty scoring dependent. However, he will play more minutes, so maybe Bojan's slightly safer than Clarkson. But again, both rely heavily on scoring to get themselves fantasy points. I think Ingles is still a decent play at 5'2" if there's no Conley. Kind of surprised he only played 27 minutes. He played really well. He shot the ball well. I think he should play more in this series. If you're going to limit Bojan or limit Clarkson a little bit, Ingles should be playing more, I think. So I think Ingles is a decent player if Conley's out now. However, if Conley does get ruled in, then I'm probably off guys like Ingles and Bojan and Clarkson, basically off the secondary plays for Utah if Conley ends up playing. And then Royce O'Neal, I think, is a pretty safe play too at 4.9. He should play big minutes. He's out there for his defense, but he is a decent rebounder, can get you some of the peripheral stats as well. So, yeah, I think Royce is pretty safe there at that price. That's really it. Don't have a ton of interest in Yang. Favors 12 to 14 minutes off the bench. Again, I'll say pretty similar in a play to like a Dwight, a Zubac, right? You're hoping they can be pretty productive in their limited minutes. All right, so that is going to do it for the video today, guys. If you have been enjoying the content so far, I would really appreciate if you leave a like button on the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you don't upload videos you know when I'm live. Again, I will be live tomorrow to break it all down on YouTube. Make sure to check it out, guys. Thanks again. Have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow in the live stream.